Some people get second chances at love. The question is, are you brave enough to risk everything you've built for what your heart truly wants? Maya stared at her computer screen, watching the cursor blink against the white background. The office building was almost empty now, just her and the security guard making his rounds somewhere on the lower floors. She rubbed her tired eyes and checked the time again. 9:30 at night. This was becoming way too normal for her. The Peterson marketing campaign was due tomorrow morning, and she still needed to fix the color scheme on slide 12. Her boss had been very clear about the deadline. No extensions, no excuses. Maya loved her job at the advertising agency, but sometimes she wondered if she was slowly disappearing into her work. She saved the presentation one more time and finally shut down her laptop. The elevator ride down to the parking garage felt longer than usual. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, making everything look pale and washed out. Maya was thinking about stopping for takeout on her way home when the elevator doors slid open. Standing right there in front of her was Alex. Maya felt her heart skip a beat. She hadn't seen Alex in 3 years, not since that complicated night back in college when everything between them had changed. They'd been best friends throughout their junior year, spending countless hours studying together, sharing inside jokes and talking about their dreams. Alex looked different now. More grown up, wearing an expensive-looking navy suit that fit perfectly. The messy college hair was now styled professionally, and there was a confidence in the way Alex stood that hadn't been there before. Success looked good on Alex, Maya had to admit. The parking garage felt suddenly very quiet. Maya could hear her own heartbeat in her ears. She'd imagined this moment so many times over the past 3 years, but now that it was happening, she couldn't think of a single thing to say. Alex spoke first, voice sounding just as surprised as Maya felt. "Maya, I can't believe it. What are you doing here?" "I work upstairs," Maya managed to say, gesturing vaguely toward the elevator buttons. "At Morrison Creative." "What about you?" "I'm meeting with a client on the 15th floor." "Well, I was meeting with a client. The meeting ended hours ago, but I've been sitting in my car making phone calls." They stood there for a moment, just looking at each other. Maya noticed that Alex still had that same habit of running fingers through hair when nervous. "Some things never changed. You look good," Alex said quietly. "Really good." Maya felt heat rise in her cheeks. She was wearing her favorite work dress, the blue one that her roommate always said brought out her eyes. She'd chosen it that morning without thinking, but now she was glad she had. "Thanks. You too. Very professional." Alex laughed, and the sound echoed off the concrete walls. "Yeah, well, the consulting world is all about looking the part. Sometimes I feel like I'm playing dress up." "Consulting? That's great. Are you happy with it?" "It pays well," Alex said with a shrug. "And it brought me back here." Something in the way Alex said those words made Maya look up sharply. Their eyes met, and she felt that old familiar flutter in her stomach. The same one she'd felt during those long study sessions when Alex would lean over her shoulder to check her work, and she could smell that subtle cologne. "You came back on purpose?" Alex was quiet for a long moment, looking down at polished dress shoes. "I had offers in 4 different cities. Good offers. But this one felt right." Maya wanted to ask more, but she wasn't sure she was ready for the answer. Instead, she walked toward her car, a reliable Honda that had seen better days. Alex followed, hands tucked into jacket pockets. "I heard about your promotion at the agency," Alex said suddenly. Maya stopped walking. "How did you hear about that?" "I still follow the industry news. Your name came up in an article last month about rising stars in advertising. I was proud of you." The parking garage felt smaller now, like the walls were moving closer together. Maya leaned against her car door, needing something solid to support her. "You kept track of me." "I tried not to," Alex admitted with a small smile. "But you know how it is. Social media makes it hard to completely lose touch with people." Maya did know. She'd looked up Alex's profile more times than she cared to count over the past 3 years. She knew about the job in Portland, the brief engagement that had ended last year, the move back to town 6 months ago. She'd never liked or commented on anything, just watched from a distance like some kind of digital detective. "I drove by your old apartment building last month," Alex continued. "Twice, actually. I kept thinking about knocking on the door, but I figured you'd moved by now." "I did move, about a year ago." "Good, that place was too small for you. You always talked about wanting a garden." Maya was amazed that Alex remembered that detail. During their college days, she'd always said she wanted a little house with a garden where she could grow tomatoes and herbs. It had seemed like such an impossible dream back then. "I do have a garden now," she said softly. "Just a small one behind my duplex. But I grew the most amazing tomatoes this summer." Alex's face lit up with genuine happiness. "I'm so glad. You always had such good plans." The conversation was starting to feel dangerous. Too intimate. Too much like the talks they used to have before everything got complicated. Maya knew she should say goodbye, get in her car, and drive home to her comfortable life. But she couldn't seem to make herself move. "You were thinking about me, weren't you?" she heard herself ask. The words hung in the air between them like a challenge. Alex's expression grew serious. "Every day for 3 years." The honesty in Alex's voice hit Maya like a wave. She felt dizzy, overwhelmed by the weight of everything they weren't saying. All those late-night conversations, all those almost moments, all the what-ifs that had followed her since graduation. A car alarm went off somewhere in the distance, breaking the spell. Maya fumbled for her keys, suddenly desperate to escape before she said something she'd regret. "I should go. It's getting late." "Maya, wait." She looked back, knowing it was a mistake. "Can I see you again? Maybe we could get coffee sometime. Catch up properly." Maya's rational mind told her to say no. She had a boyfriend now. James was a good guy, stable and kind. They'd been together for 8 months, and her parents loved him. Getting coffee with Alex would only complicate things. But her heart had other ideas. "I still go to Bean there on 5th Street, usually around 10 on Saturdays." Alex smiled. And Maya remembered why she'd fallen for that smile in the first place. "I'll see you Saturday then." Maya got in her car and drove home, her hands shaking slightly on the steering wheel. She'd just opened a door she'd spent 3 years trying to keep closed, and she wasn't sure she had the strength to shut it again. Maya spent Friday night tossing and turning in bed, replaying every word of her conversation with Alex. She'd agreed to meet for coffee, but now she was second-guessing everything. What if it was awkward? What if they had nothing to talk about? Worse yet, what if they had too much to talk about? Saturday morning came too quickly. Maya changed her outfit 3 times before settling on jeans and her favorite green sweater. Nothing too fancy, but she wanted to look nice. She told herself it didn't matter, that this was just catching up with an old friend. But her racing heart told a different story. Bean. There was busy when Maya arrived at 10 sharp. The little coffee shop had always been her favorite spot in the city. It smelled like fresh ground coffee and cinnamon pastries, and the mismatched furniture gave it a cozy, lived-in feel. She ordered her usual vanilla latte and found a quiet table near the window. Alex walked in 15 minutes later, looking around the room with curious eyes. Maya waved from her corner table, and Alex's face broke into that same warm smile that had always made her knees weak. Today, Alex was dressed casually in dark jeans and a gray button-up shirt, looking more like the college student Maya remembered. "This place is perfect," Alex said, sliding into the chair across from her. "Very you. Cozy and welcoming." Maya felt her cheeks warm at the compliment. "I've been coming here for 2 years. The owner, Mrs. Chen, makes the best scones in the city. I'll have to try one." "What do you recommend?" "The blueberry lemon ones are amazing. But honestly, you can't go wrong with anything here." Alex went to order, and Maya watched through the window as people walked by on the sidewalk. Couples holding hands, families with strollers, joggers with their dogs. Normal Saturday life happening all around them, while she sat waiting for a conversation that could change everything. When Alex returned with coffee and 2 scones, Maya noticed the nervousness that hadn't been there in the parking garage. Alex was fidgeting with the coffee cup, turning it in small circles on the wooden table. "So," Maya said, taking a sip of her latte, "tell me about consulting. Do you like it?" "It's challenging," Alex replied. "I work with small businesses, helping them figure out their marketing strategies and operational problems. Every client is different, so I'm always learning something new." "That sounds like it would suit you. You always loved solving puzzles in college." Alex looked surprised. "I can't believe you remember that. Those logic problems Professor Williams used to give us in math class. You were the only person who actually enjoyed them. The rest of us were just trying to pass the class." They fell into an easy rhythm, talking about work and life in the city. Alex told funny stories about difficult clients, and Maya shared her latest advertising campaign disasters. The nervousness started to fade as they rediscovered their old friendship dynamic. Remember that time we stayed up all night working on our final project for communications? Alex asked, breaking off a piece of scone. Maya laughed. You mean when we drank so much coffee we started hallucinating? And we thought our presentation was brilliant, but it was actually complete nonsense. Professor Martinez was so confused. She kept asking if we were feeling okay. I was mortified. But you just laughed it off like it was no big deal. That's because it wasn't a big deal. We still got a B+, didn't we? Maya nodded, remembering how Alex had always been able to make her feel better about her mistakes. In college, Alex had been the calm one, the voice of reason when Maya got too stressed about grades or deadlines. As the morning stretched on, Maya found herself studying Alex's hands while they talked. The same long fingers that used to trace patterns on her textbooks during late-night study sessions. The same habit of gesturing while explaining something complicated. She caught herself staring and looked away quickly. What about you? Alex asked suddenly. Are you happy? I mean really happy, not just professionally. The question caught Maya off guard. She opened her mouth to give the automatic response about loving her job and her life. But something in Alex's eyes made her pause. I think so, she said slowly. Most of the time. My work is fulfilling and I have good friends. I'm dating someone nice. Alex's expression shifted slightly, but the change was so subtle Maya almost missed it. That's good. I'm glad you're not alone. There was something in Alex's voice that made Maya look up sharply. What about you? Are you seeing anyone? No, not since the engagement ended. Maya had known about the engagement from Alex's social media, but hearing it mentioned directly made her stomach flip. She tried to keep her voice casual. I'm sorry that didn't work out. Alex shrugged, but Maya could see there was more to the story. It was for the best. We wanted different things. She wanted to stay in Portland, build a life there. I kept thinking about other places I'd rather be. Like here. Their eyes met across the small table, and Maya felt that familiar electricity spark between them. The same energy that had always existed in their friendship. The undercurrent they'd both pretended not to notice. Yeah, Alex said quietly. Like here. Maya's phone buzzed with a text message. She glanced at it quickly and saw James's name on the screen asking about dinner plans. Guilt washed over her like cold water. I should probably head home soon, she said, not really meaning it. Of course, I don't want to take up your whole Saturday. But neither of them moved to leave. Instead, they ordered more coffee and kept talking. Alex told her about the apartment downtown, the view of the river from the bedroom window. Maya described her garden in detail, the satisfaction of growing her own vegetables. I'd love to see it sometime, Alex said. The garden, I mean. If that would be okay. Maya's heart raced. Inviting Alex to her house felt like crossing a line she wasn't ready to cross. But the words came out before she could stop them. Maybe next weekend. The tomatoes should be perfect by then. Alex smiled, and Maya knew she'd just made everything more complicated. But sitting there in the warm coffee shop, watching Alex's eyes light up with genuine happiness, she found she didn't care about complicated. When they finally said goodbye outside Bean there, Alex hugged her. It was supposed to be a friendly hug, the kind old friends share after a pleasant afternoon. But Maya felt Alex's arms tighten around her for just a moment longer than necessary, felt Alex's face press briefly against her hair. Walking back to her car, Maya realized her life had just shifted in a way she couldn't take back. The careful balance she'd built over the past 3 years was starting to crumble, and she wasn't sure she wanted to stop it. The week after coffee with Alex felt different for Maya. She found herself distracted during meetings, staring out her office window and thinking about their conversation. Her coworkers started noticing her mood changes. Rachel from accounting asked if she was feeling okay. Even her boss mentioned that she seemed unusually cheerful during their Monday morning check-in. Maya tried to focus on work, but Alex kept creeping into her thoughts. The way Alex had looked at her garden photos on her phone, asking detailed questions about her tomato varieties, the genuine interest in her stories about difficult clients and impossible deadlines. It had been a long time since someone had listened to her that carefully. James noticed the change too. They were having dinner at their usual Italian place on Wednesday night when he brought it up. You've been really distracted lately, he said, twirling pasta around his fork. Everything okay at work? Maya felt a stab of guilt. James was being considerate, asking about her well-being like any good boyfriend should. But sitting across from him in the dimly lit restaurant, she found herself comparing everything to her afternoon with Alex. James was handsome and successful, exactly the kind of man her parents hoped she'd marry. But when was the last time they'd laughed together the way she and Alex had laughed over coffee? Work's been busy, she said, which wasn't exactly a lie. The Peterson campaign is launching next week. James nodded sympathetically. I know how stressed you get during big launches. Maybe we should plan a weekend getaway soon, somewhere relaxing. Maya smiled and agreed, but her mind was already elsewhere. She'd promised Alex a tour of her garden this Saturday, and she couldn't stop thinking about it. On Thursday, Maya was grabbing lunch at the deli near her office when she spotted a familiar figure at the counter. Alex was ordering a sandwich, looking professional in a crisp white shirt and dark pants. Maya's heart jumped and she almost turned around and left, but Alex looked up at that moment and saw her. Maya, what are you doing in this neighborhood? My office is just 2 blocks away, Maya said, joining Alex at the counter. I come here all the time. Their turkey club is incredible. I'll have to try it. I'm meeting a client at the building next door, figured I'd grab something quick. They ended up eating lunch together at a small table outside the deli. Alex told her about the morning's meeting with a family-owned bakery that wanted to expand their business online. Maya found herself fascinated by the details, the way Alex analyzed problems and came up with creative solutions. You're really good at this, Maya said, watching Alex's eyes light up while describing a marketing strategy. You found your calling. Alex paused mid-bite of sandwich. You think so? Sometimes I wonder if I'm just making it up as I go along. We're all making it up as we go along, Maya laughed. The secret is pretending you know what you're doing until you actually do. Is that how you became so successful at the agency? That's exactly how I became successful. Fake it till you make it, Alex grinned. I'll remember that advice. When Alex walked her back toward her office building, Maya felt reluctant to say goodbye. Lunch had flown by too quickly, and she wasn't ready for the conversation to end. I'll see you Saturday? Alex asked as they stopped in front of the agency's glass doors. About 2 o'clock. I'll text you my address. Alex nodded and started to walk away, then turned back. Maya, I'm really glad we ran into each other again. These past few days have been the best I've had in a long time. Maya watched Alex disappear around the corner, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and worry. She was playing with fire and she knew it. Friday evening, James came over to watch movies and order takeout. It was their usual Friday routine, comfortable and predictable, but Maya found herself checking her phone constantly, wondering what Alex was doing. When James reached for her hand during the movie, Maya felt guilty for wishing it was someone else's fingers intertwined with hers. Saturday morning arrived bright and sunny. Perfect weather for showing off her garden. Maya spent an hour getting ready, changing from jeans to a sundress to shorts and back to the sundress again. She told herself she wasn't trying to impress Alex, just wanted to look nice for a friend's visit. When Alex arrived at exactly 2 o'clock, Maya's nervousness melted away. Alex was carrying a bottle of wine and wearing casual clothes that made her remember their college days. Faded jeans and a soft cotton shirt that brought out Alex's eyes. This is for later, Alex said, handing over the wine. I thought we might want to sit and talk after the garden tour. Maya led Alex through her small house, pointing out the renovations she'd done over the past year. Alex admired her book collection and laughed at the photos covering her refrigerator. When they stepped into the backyard, Alex's reaction was everything Maya had hoped for. Maya, this is amazing. You created a little paradise back here. The garden was Maya's pride and joy. Neat rows of vegetables, herbs growing in raised beds, tomato plants heavy with fruit. She'd strung lights between the trees and set up a small seating area with comfortable chairs. Try this, Maya said, picking a ripe tomato and handing it to Alex. Alex took a bite and closed his eyes with pleasure. This is the best tomato I've ever tasted, seriously. Really? You're not just being nice? I would never lie about food. This is incredible. They spent the afternoon walking through the garden, Maya explaining her growing techniques while Alex asked thoughtful questions. When Alex crouched down to examine her herb garden, commenting on the healthy basil plants, Maya felt a rush of pride she hadn't expected. You should be proud of this, Alex said, standing and brushing dirt from hands. This takes real dedication. It's my therapy. When work gets stressful, I come out here and pull weeds or water plants. It helps me think. As the sun started to set, they opened Alex's wine and settled into the comfortable chairs. The conversation flowed as easily as it had at coffee, but there was something different in the air. Maybe it was the wine, or the intimate setting of Maya's backyard, but the energy between them felt more charged. "Can I ask you something?" Alex said suddenly, wine glass balanced on one knee. Maya's heart skipped. "Of course, that night in college. Before graduation. Do you ever think about it?" Maya felt her cheeks flush. They'd never talked about that night, the one that had changed everything between them. The night they'd almost kissed, almost crossed the line from friendship into something more dangerous. "Sometimes," she admitted quietly. "I think about it all the time. I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't pulled away." Maya stared into her wine glass, afraid to meet Alex's eyes. "You had good reasons for pulling away. We both had other plans, did we? Or were we just scared?" The question hung in the evening air between them. Maya could hear her neighbor's dog barking in the distance, the sound of traffic from the main road. Normal life continuing around them while her world felt like it was shifting on its axis. "I should tell you something," Maya said finally. "James, my boyfriend. He's talking about moving in together." Alex was quiet for a long moment. "Is that what you want?" "I don't know anymore. A week ago I would have said yes. But now, Maya looked up and found Alex watching her with an intensity that made her breath catch. "Now I'm questioning everything." The silence in Maya's garden stretched between them like a bridge neither was sure they should cross. Alex's question about what Maya wanted hung in the evening air, and she could feel her heart beating so loudly she wondered if Alex could hear it too. "I've been lying to myself," Maya said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. "About being happy with James. About being satisfied with my safe, predictable life." Alex leaned forward in the chair, wine glass forgotten. "What do you mean?" Maya took a deep breath, knowing that once she said the words out loud, there would be no taking them back. "When I saw you in that parking garage last week, it was like waking up from a long sleep. Suddenly I realized I've been going through the motions for 3 years, pretending that comfortable was the same thing as happy." "Maya." "Let me finish," she said, finally meeting Alex's eyes. "I need to tell you something I should have said years ago. That night before graduation, when you pulled away from me, I was heartbroken. Not just disappointed, but actually heartbroken." Alex's expression softened with regret. "I was scared. We were both heading in different directions, and I thought, you thought it would hurt less if we ended things before they really started." "Yes, but I was wrong. It hurt anyway, and I spent 3 years wondering what if." Maya felt tears prick her eyes. "I did the same thing. I told myself you made the right choice, that we were better as friends, but deep down I never got over it." Alex stood up slowly and moved to the edge of Maya's chair. "Can I tell you something? The real reason I took this job?" Maya nodded, not trusting her voice. "I've been offered positions in Seattle, Denver, even New York. Good money, great opportunities. But when this one came up, when I saw it was in your city, I couldn't say no. I told myself it was about the work, about wanting to be closer to home. But that was a lie." "What was the real reason?" Alex's voice was soft but steady. "I came back for you. I've been in love with you since our sophomore year of college, and 3 years apart didn't change that. If anything, it made it stronger." Maya felt like the world had tilted sideways. Everything she'd been feeling, all the confusion and guilt and longing, suddenly made perfect sense. Alex had come back for her. "I need to know something," Maya said, standing up so they were face to face. "When you were engaged, did you love her?" Alex was quiet for a moment, considering the question seriously. "I cared about her deeply. She was kind and smart and everything I thought I should want. But no, I didn't love her the way I love you. And she knew it. That's why she ended things." Maya felt a tear slide down her cheek. "She was smarter than both of us. She told me I was holding on to someone from my past, and until I dealt with that, I'd never be able to move forward with anyone else. She was right." Alex reached up and gently wiped the tear from Maya's face. The touch sent electricity through her entire body, and she remembered exactly why she'd fallen for Alex in the first place. "What do we do now?" Maya whispered. "I don't know, but I couldn't go another day without telling you the truth. Maya looked around her garden at the life she'd built for herself. The tomato plants she'd nurtured from seeds, the herb beds she'd designed and planted. Everything she'd accomplished on her own. She was proud of this life, but she was starting to realize it felt incomplete. "James is a good man," she said, more to herself than to Alex. "I'm sure he is. He doesn't deserve to be anyone's second choice." Alex nodded. "No, he doesn't. And you? What do you deserve?" Alex's smile was sad but honest. "I deserve someone who chooses me completely, not someone who settles for me because I'm safe." Maya felt something shift inside her chest, like a door opening that had been locked for years. "I need to end things with James." "Are you sure? I don't want you to make a decision you'll regret." Maya looked into Alex's eyes and saw her own feelings reflected back at her. The love, the fear, the hope for something real and meaningful. "I'm sure. It's not fair to any of us to keep pretending." Alex took her hands, and Maya felt like she was coming home after a long journey. "What about us? Where does this leave us?" "I don't know," Maya admitted. "But I want to find out. I'm tired of wondering what if." They stood there in her garden as the last light faded from the sky, holding hands and looking at each other like they were seeing clearly for the first time in years. Maya felt scared and excited and more alive than she had in months. "There's something else I need to tell you," Alex said. "The Seattle job is still on the table. They've been waiting for my answer." Maya's heart sank. "Oh, I turned it down this morning." "What? Why?" Alex squeezed her hands. "Because even if you weren't ready to give us a chance, I couldn't leave again. Not when I finally had the courage to come back." Maya felt overwhelmed by the magnitude of what Alex was saying. "You gave up a job opportunity for me?" "I gave up a job opportunity for the possibility of us. There's a difference. But what if this doesn't work out? What if we try and we're terrible together?" Alex laughed softly. "Then at least we'll know. And I'd rather fail at something real than succeed at something that doesn't matter." Maya felt a smile spread across her face despite her fears. "When did you become so wise?" 3 years of therapy and a broken engagement will do that to a person." "Therapy?" "I had to figure out why I kept sabotaging my own happiness. Turns out running away from the person you love isn't a great life strategy." Maya laughed, feeling some of her tension ease. Who would have thought? As they walked back toward the house, Maya's phone buzzed with a text from James asking about their plans for tomorrow. She looked at the message and felt a weight settle in her stomach. Tomorrow her life would be completely different. "I should call him tonight," she said, showing Alex the text. "That's probably for the best. Do you want me to leave?" Maya considered it, then shook her head. "No, stay. I might need a friend after this conversation." Alex smiled. "Always." Maya realized that no matter what happened between them romantically, Alex would always be important to her. That friendship they'd built in college, the foundation everything else was built on, was still solid. Standing in her kitchen looking out at the garden where they'd finally told each other the truth, Maya felt ready to face whatever came next. Maya stared at her phone for 20 minutes before finally calling James. Alex had gone to sit on the front porch to give her privacy, but knowing Alex was nearby made the conversation both easier and harder. James answered on the second ring, his voice warm and familiar. "Hey, beautiful. How was your day?" Maya's heart ached at his casual affection. "James, we need to talk." "Can you come over?" "Sure, is everything okay? You sound serious. Just come over, please." An hour later, James sat on Maya's couch looking confused and hurt. Maya had tried to explain gently, but there was no easy way to break someone's heart. "I don't understand," James said, running his hands through his hair. "Things have been good between us." "Haven't they?" Maya sat across from him, wishing she could make this easier for both of them. "They have been good. You're wonderful, James, but good isn't enough anymore." "Is there someone else?" Maya hesitated, then decided he deserved the complete truth. "Yes, but this isn't really about him. It's about me realizing that I've been settling for comfortable instead of fighting for what I actually want." James was quiet for a long time, looking down at his hands. When he finally spoke, his voice was hurt but not angry. "How long have you felt this way?" I didn't realize it until recently. I thought I was happy, but I was just existing, going through the motions. And this other person makes you feel different? Maya thought about Alex waiting on her porch, about the way her heart raced during their conversations, about feeling truly seen and understood for the first time in years. Yes, he makes me feel like myself again. James stood up slowly. I should have seen this coming. You've been different lately. Distracted. I thought it was work stress. I'm sorry. You deserve so much better than someone who can't give you their whole heart. James looked at her with sad eyes. You're right. I do deserve that. And so do you. He kissed her forehead gently before leaving, and Maya felt grateful that even in heartbreak, James was kind. She watched him drive away, then sat alone in her living room crying for the relationship that had been good but not great, safe but not passionate. Alex knocked softly on the door an hour later. How did it go? Terribly, and exactly how it needed to go. Alex pulled her into a hug, and Maya let herself cry against Alex's shoulder. I heard him. You freed him. Now he can find someone who loves him the way he deserves to be loved. What if I made a mistake? What if we don't work out and I gave up something real for something that might not last? Alex pulled back to look at her. Do you want guarantees? Because I can't give you those. I can only tell you that I love you, and I want to try to build something meaningful together. Maya wiped her eyes. That's terrifying. The best things usually are. Over the next few weeks, Maya and Alex took things slowly. They went on proper dates, rediscovering each other as adults instead of college students. They talked about their fears, their dreams, their hopes for the future. Maya learned that Alex volunteered at an animal shelter on weekends and had been taking cooking classes. Alex discovered that Maya had been learning Spanish and dreamed of traveling to South America. 3 months later, Maya got a call that changed everything. Her boss offered her a promotion that would require relocating to the company's branch office in Portland. It was an incredible opportunity, the kind of career advancement she'd been working toward for years. Portland? Alex said when Maya told him about the offer. They were having dinner at her place, and Maya had been working up the courage all evening to bring it up. It's a huge opportunity. Creative director for the entire West Coast division. I'd be crazy to turn it down. Alex was quiet, and Maya could see him processing the information. When would you need to leave? 2 months. But Alex, I want you to come with me. Alex looked surprised. What? I've been thinking about it all week. You work for yourself now. You can consult from anywhere. Portland has a great business community. Lots of potential clients. Maya, are you sure? That's a big step. Maya reached across the table and took Alex's hand. I'm sure. These past few months have shown me what I want my life to look like. I want adventure, I want challenges, I want to build something beautiful with someone I love. Alex's face broke into a slow smile. Are you asking me to move across the country with you? I'm asking you to take a leap of faith with me. Alex squeezed her hand. Yes, I'll come with you. Yes to the adventure, yes to building something beautiful together. Yes to whatever comes next. Maya felt her heart soar. Really? I followed you back to this city. Following you to Portland seems like the natural next step. They spent the evening planning and dreaming, talking about the apartment they'd find together, the life they'd build in a new place. Maya felt excited about the future in a way she hadn't in years. The night before they left for Portland, Maya stood in her garden one last time. She'd sold the house to a young couple who promised to take care of her tomato plants. It was bittersweet leaving this place where she'd found herself, but she was ready for the next chapter. Alex came up behind her and wrapped arms around her waist. Any regrets? Maya leaned back against Alex's chest, looking at the garden lit by moonlight. No regrets. Just gratitude. For what? For that night in the parking garage. For second chances. For having the courage to choose love over comfort. Alex kissed the top of her head. What do you think would have happened if we hadn't run into each other that night? Maya considered the question. I think we would have found each other eventually. Some connections are too strong to stay broken forever. I like that theory. Maya turned in Alex's arms, looking up at the person who had changed her life completely. I love you. I love you too. As they walked back toward the house to finish packing, Maya thought about how much her life had changed in just a few months. She'd gone from sleepwalking through her days to feeling fully awake and alive. She'd traded security for possibility, comfort for passion. The old Maya might have been scared of so much uncertainty. But this Maya, the one who'd learned to trust her heart, was ready for anything. Portland was just the beginning. There would be new challenges, new opportunities, new adventures waiting for them. Maya had spent 3 years wondering what if. Now she was ready to find out what came next. Loading the last boxes into the moving truck the next morning, Maya felt a deep sense of peace. She was exactly where she was supposed to be, with exactly the right person, heading toward a future full of beautiful unknowns. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit that the life you've built isn't the life you actually want. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, the universe gives you a second chance to get it right.